Hey guys, got video number 3 here about how I started the brand. And even though it's 3 years in, like this, I'm talking about the year 2019, I still think that that's kind of me still starting and working on the brand, even though it was already pretty established. So, year or 2019, I think, was the biggest year with the most changes so far, and 2020 might be more. Actually, you know what? It should be more. That should be my goal anyways. So I'll say that right away. 2020 will have even more changes in 2019. But basically, what happened in 2019 was the brand, the business, it roughly tripled in size, and I sent out like thousands of clothing items and orders everywhere, and I had a much more consistent drop method. So I would drop clothing almost every month that year. I think I only skipped 2 or 3 months because what I would do is I would be working on the next month's drop, so sometimes it would take 2 months to get something done. Although my goal was to release stuff every month, and that's what's happening right now in 2020. I'm on a schedule to release a drop every single month because I just want the brand to grow like really fast and pick up pace this year. And then in 2021, I think I'll slow it down a little bit and cut the drops in half, but have each one a little bit more focused and stuff, which either way is fine. Whether you do a lot or a little, but just getting the stuff out is the most important thing. And that's kind of what I realized in 2019 was to get more momentum going. So the first up until midsummer, I was running the business like I did in 2018, just releasing stuff and creating some designs here and there. But what happened in the summer really changed my life, and I changed as a person a lot, like a lot. So my day job, I would be taking care of people's properties, like managing their yards and cleaning things up and all sorts of stuff. What happened was these people I used to work for moved away, and their property got bought up by their next door neighbor, who I never met because I worked for this couple for 6 years, and they're awesome people, and they moved away. And the guy that bought their property, he later on called me because he wanted me to take care of it and also work for him. And I kind of ignored his calls like 3 times. Like, he would keep calling me every week because I was really busy with the brand and doing my day job for other people, because I have multiple people I work for. So eventually I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna pick up the phone and see what he wants. I picked it up, and I started talking with him, and he was like, do you want to work for me? And so he was the boss of my fiance. Like, my fiance's dad, he worked at the company. It's called Fast Cap. He worked there, so I was like, oh, this is weird. So it's kind of like we're all connected now. And I was like, all right, whatever, I'll take you on. I'll come once or twice a week and work for you. Just extra work that summer. But what I didn't realize was he wanted to basically snatch me away from all the other people I was working for, so I'd be only working for one person consistently. And I worked for him for a couple days, and he at the end of it, he was like, hey, so do you want to work for me like 40 hours a week, like quit everyone else? And I was just like, I don't know, I've been working for all these people for years, and my job was kind of it was really flexible at that point. So like some weeks I'd be working on business a lot, and other weeks I would be just managing properties, especially in the summer, because it's more like a summer thing. Like in the winter, I'd really be like hunkered down in the office here, and I'd just be making designs, you know? So like my schedule is super flexible. So when he was like, oh, you should work for me full time and I'll pay you more and you just come to one place and don't worry about it, it was like a big jump in my life. I was like, I don't know, because like that kind of created a bottleneck with my schedule because it's a little bit more consistent now. But the weird thing is I picked up more hours doing that, but my business grew like 3 times in that period. And it grew like that because what I didn't realize was he became my mentor in that way. And you can go onto YouTube and type in Fast Cap and see all their videos and what that's all about. But so the owner is Paul, and he taught me so much stuff like that totally changed my life and the way I think about processes and business and stuff. So what he teaches and what their company's all about is called lean, like lean manufacturing. And lean manufacturing is basically a Japanese method of eliminating waste from your processes and from business, and it applies to your life too. It's eliminating waste like excess inventory, wasted motion, just doing there's like 8 wastes. I don't know all of them by memory, but basically what it is process improvement. So everything you do in life is a process, from taking a shower to buying groceries to brushing your teeth, working on your desk, cleaning your house. So every single thing's a process. And what he taught me was every process people do has waste in it. And the point of process improvement is to eliminate that waste. So work becomes easier for you and you become more efficient. And there's less friction and you get more stuff done. And you're not worrying about what you're doing, like the work flows smoothly. So at the end of the day, you're ending up making more money. It's usually more environmentally friendly as well, which is cool about the whole lean thing. And you're gonna save money, you're gonna save time and be a more productive person. And since you're eliminating that friction in life, you're also gonna be happier, because what it does is there's a lot of unnecessary like pain that goes on in life, pain points and bottlenecks, and we on a daily basis trip over our feet doing stuff unnecessarily. Like my philosophy is like pain and hardship is kind of important to grow as a person and to develop, but unnecessary pain and friction doesn't do you any good and it doesn't grow you as a person, right? So like I'm sure you saw like that video I posted of my shower, and it's like super optimized and I have dispensers and everything. That's a perfect example of lean thinking, is process improvement. So my shower process is like really easy. It's frictionless and I can go about that process in my morning routine without problems. I'm not doing unnecessary steps and wasted motion and time to get that process done. And basically he mentored me through that, and that totally changed my mind about the way I think. I think more analytically now, and I'm always thinking about improving a process when I do it. So when I work on my computer, I'm like, how can I do this better? Because I don't want to be spending time doing unnecessary things when I could do it cheaper, better, and faster, which ultimately transfers over to more value to you guys, the customer, right? Because that stuff can be taken care of, and I can be like designing stuff that you guys will love and other customers will love, right? Because the company shouldn't be worried about doing dumb work. Like slow and like you're not really getting stuff done, right? Because you're tripping over your own feet trying to do the tasks. Like eventually I want to hire people, and what I really want to do is manage the whole all the operations and really be the creative director, right? My brain and the tasks I want to do is to do the creative stuff, right? So right now I'm setting up all those systems and processes. I'm improving them day by day by myself, because when I hire someone to help me, I want their job to be really easy and fun for them, not full of friction and unnecessary waste for them, right? Because, and I'm really trying to think about the employee, because I want to create a fun work environment and a culture that if someone worked for me, they would love it, and I would like to have them with me too, you know? I don't want them doing dumb work and they're not really getting something like done efficiently, right? Because efficiency ultimately is just making your life easier, right? Like, I'm sure I mentioned this, like I have a Roomba and it's vacuuming every day. I'm not vacuuming and doing that work because it's not important to me or the business, right? But it still needs to be done, because working in a dirty environment is super bad for you and mentally as well. It's a whole psychological thing. But basically, Paul taught me a lot about lean and how to do stuff, and I still work for him right now. He has like a huge estate. It's like 15 acres, so every day I take care of it. There's all sorts of stuff there. It's really cool, and even he has like a lot of automation at his place. Like there's like robotic lawnmowers and stuff. It's pretty insane. Even you guys probably saw that video of my desk I made with the foam and stuff. That's one of their products. They make the Kaizen foam. So that all being said, what I learned in 2019 is that if you guys get a mentor, you're gonna jump way ahead of the curve. Like I know some of you guys are like, oh, it's just streetwear clothing. I don't know why you're like making it such a big deal, taking all this stuff too seriously and going so far above and beyond. But that's not really like the point. It doesn't matter what business you're in. It matters about the way you're headed with it. And, you know, ultimately when I'm older, when I'm 40, I might be doing something totally different. Who knows? I would like to keep doing this, but you can't really say for sure how your life's going to go, right? So even if you're doing a clothing brand or streetwear or whatever you're doing, if you learn these kind of concepts that I'm trying to explain to you guys, even if you just work at a job and you have a boss and you like it, you're going to make way more income. You're going to step up the ladder in wherever you're working at if you learn this stuff and apply it, and you'll really impress your boss, because a lot of businesses don't do smart thinking. They do a lot of dumb work, unnecessary stuff, and work that's hard, that's not fulfilling, you know? Because I believe in hard work, but I don't believe in doing stupid work that's not fulfilling for you, right? And that's not driving you and the company forward. So I really learned that. I learned that, you know, having a mentor is important, and I'm glad that I'm at this job, and I'll stick with it, you know, as I grow this business. And obviously I don't want to do that forever. I really want this to be like my main focus and my career. But I'm really glad that I met him and I work for him. And as that happened, I also grew immensely as a person. I took way better care of my health. I got like just overall healthier. Like I don't eat like a bunch of sugar and soda and just a bunch of processed food, because my boss is also really big on health, and I have eaten really bad my whole life. I'm not like a healthy person at all. But what I realized was you cannot successfully run and grow a company and become a business person, no matter what industry you're in, if you don't manage yourself, right? There's a lot of CEOs and people my age and people starting stuff that their health is completely out of whack. And you can fight me all day about it, you can cry about it, you can ignore it, but it's 100% true. If your health is not on track, your business is gonna suffer, right? And let's say your business is doing really well. Let's say you're making $1 million a year, but your health is bad. What's really happening is you're missing out on $3 million a year because your energy and your mindset and your body, all of that is screwed up, and you can't focus on growing the business even more, right? Because you're wasting your precious life on not taking care of your body, right? And ultimately that stifles growth and creating a better environment for you and your workers, right? So my health totally changed, and I'm really happy about that. I feel like much better. Well, the health was more gradual because that's been the past 3 months, which I've been really focusing on that. I even got like I'll make a product for you. I got like an air purifier, and that's really nice because I live in the city here. My mindset changed a lot, and like even getting the air purifier, I was thinking, I have no idea what the outside is doing, and my neighbors, they smoke a lot, so all those toxins are coming into my nose and my lungs. And I don't know how that's going to compound over the future. You know, I've lived in the country my whole life. So whether I'm being paranoid or not, it doesn't matter. Either way, I'm breathing really nice, clean air now. And I'm thinking about the future, because if I live in the city for 5 years or something, who knows how that's going to compound the effects on my lungs, right? That's what I'm thinking of. And it's little stuff like that my brain like got rewired when I got a mentor, and and also the reason why my brain got rewired was because I started reading a lot of books. I listened to a lot of audiobooks. So when I'm at work, I'm listening to about 8 hours of like content on how to develop as a person and how to develop the business. So that's why the brand grew so much, is because when I'm at work, I'm listening to how to grow Rubashka, right? Because that's ultimately my goal. When I come home, I apply that knowledge to the business. And I've made so many changes in that, and it's not big changes, it's little changes over time. Every day is a little change. And that's also what my boss taught me, was all you got to do is focus on making one little improvement every single day, right? A lot of people that start businesses, it's good to look at the big picture, but they get lost in the big picture and they get overwhelmed and nothing happens. They don't start anything, right? All you got to do is do one little improvement at a time. When I started my website and the brand, it did not look good in my opinion. Maybe it did for you, but the website was ugly. It didn't really perform that well to gain attention and customers. And over time, as I was learning stuff and doing process improvement, it kept getting better and changes, kept tweaking it. It's been roughly the same for the past 2 years, which is fine to me. I'll explain all of that later, but ultimately what I'm trying to say is like, focus on just making one small improvement in your life every single day, right? And you'll become a better person that way, like in regards to the way you treat other people, your health, and growing your business, right? Because all of that is really interwoven, and I made a video about how it's interwoven. If you think that your personal life is kind of separate from your business, your thinking's kind of whack, because what you do in your personal life is affecting your business, right? If I'm staying up really late and I'm getting 2 hours of sleep because I want to focus on my business, what I'm really doing is damaging my health in the long term, and I'm not really getting stuff done on my business. Because when you're not alert and you're not awake, you're not doing intense focused work on the business, right? All you're doing is tricking yourself into thinking that you're doing a lot of hard work. I'm like, oh, I worked 16 hours today and I got this done. Well, how about you work 8 hours, but those 8 hours are intensely focused. You're not tired, you're not sleepy, you're not checking your phone, you're not hungry, you know, because your day's planned out, right? So yeah, one change at a time every day will definitely help grow your business. And I also at this time I had a little bit of money, not money issues, but like having capital up front to buy a large inventory and then post it on the website for people to purchase. So what I ended up doing was I got a credit card, a business credit card, because if you have an LLC, you can apply for one and you have a higher line of credit. And I got that for 2 reasons. Like I said, get more inventory up front, and also it grows your credit score, because that's important when, let's say you want to buy a house in the future, or you want to buy a warehouse or do a lot of stuff like that. You really need to develop your credit score. And if you're 16 or 18 and you're just like, oh, this is a bunch of boring crap, trust me, listen to what I'm saying and get on the ball on that. Like, be smart right now. This is like the most critical time in your life at this age. When I was 16 and 18 and all that, I didn't know any of this crap. No one taught me this crap. And if you take it and apply it and you run with it, man, you're gonna be way, like, I know it's not like a competition, but I mean, it's fun. Like, you're gonna be way ahead of your peers. Even your family, like, they might not even understand any of this stuff. Like, you're gonna just grow and progress so much and so much faster as a person if you're just doing what I'm doing, in a sense, right? Like, just eat the meat and spit out the bones, right? Take the information that's useful to you and run with it. But anyways, I got a credit card. I'll give you a really strong word of caution though. Be extremely careful with that. I've always been against credit cards my whole life, but as I read a lot of books and learned a lot of information on YouTube, I realized that was kind of wrong thinking, in a sense, because having a card can really help you, especially if you're growing a brand. Like, having thousands of dollars up front that's not a loan from the bank is super helpful, like extremely helpful, because having an adequate amount of inventory based on the amount of customers you have is really helpful, right? Especially when you're 3, 4, 5, 6 years into it and things are starting to pick up more. What I'm saying with the word of caution is it could be really tempting to start to buy a bunch of crap that's not necessary for your brand, right? I could get a bunch of fancy equipment and just stuff that would help the business, but not really, right? The thing that would really help the business right now would be to spend more on advertising and to buy more inventory. And that's basically what I focused that card on. That's the purchase I made. I didn't buy anything for myself. I didn't buy food and crap with it, like personal stuff. And you're not really supposed to anyways, because it's a business card, right? So don't even get tempted to do that. Just think of that money as money you made from the inventory, and you're just recycling it back into buying more inventory, right? And use it strategically, right? Go a little slow with it, because I had a credit limit, but I didn't max it out or anything at first. I just bought just a little bit more inventory than I usually would that month. And that really helped, because there wasn't a bottleneck with customer purchases. Like, I had just a little bit more inventory where I could make more profit that month, and that was a pretty profitable month when I got that card. And like I said, be really careful with this, because a lot of people will get into credit card debt and get screwed up. And I'm not a financial advisor, but I'm just giving you my advice, personal advice from it. As soon as you get the return on that money when you get purchases, pay off the card immediately. Don't keep a balance on there. And if you develop that habit, then you'll use that card safer. And also, it's nice because you'll get a lot of times you get a sign-up bonus and you'll get cash back. And what you do with that money is you reinvest it back into the business, it'll grow even faster. Like the sign up bonus and the cash back was enough to buy like half a month's worth of inventory as well, which is super cool because it's just like free inventory, right? Or you can recycle that back into paying off the card, right? So be really careful with that. That's something I really liked, and now I kind of use that system. It helps grow the brand more. And sometimes you need stuff up front and you might not have the funds for it right away, right? Because let's say that you are a couple steps behind and you really needed like a new Big Mac like that, because eventually you want one of these anyways when your brand grows. I think working on a small laptop forever is kind of dumb, because having a big screen is easier to see stuff on, and it has more power, more processing power, and it's more like a stationary thing, right? A laptop is great. I'm not ragging against that. I have one too. I use it too. But when you're really down the road and things are great, it's probably good to invest in one of those. And one of those months where you buy that, it's great to have like money up front to get that, right? But make sure it's paid off like as soon as possible. Don't let the balance be on your card, right? Keep that habit of doing that. And a lot of businesses do have cards and do all this stuff. It's nothing new and nothing like crazy that I'm saying. So what I also did in 2019 was I expanded the kind of products I'm making. I made my first overseas purchases. I wasn't really doing that before. I would make stuff locally or in the USA, which has its positives and negatives. And I'll make a video about overseas versus local. Quickly, what I would say is having stuff made locally is a little bit more, but the turnaround time is faster and you have a little bit more control over what's going on with the product. Like in overseas, you might order something and you get it and it's completely wrong. They screwed up on it. And now you're out of that capital and you have a bunch of product that's not really that good. Whereas when you do it locally, since there is not really a language barrier, you can very clearly and quickly communicate what you need, and you can check up with them midway kind of and see if they're making the product right and if everything's like good to go, right? It's kind of difficult to do that overseas. Even if you order samples and stuff, that doesn't guarantee that the communication is coming through and things are working out. So I got into that, and that's something I'm continually developing for 2020 is getting other products overseas that can't be made here within a reasonable amount of money, right? Because you need to do budgeting and profit margins, right? You can't, and there's pros and cons for both. So I learned that, and I released a ton of new products that weren't out in 2018. I was mostly making hoodies and t-shirts that year. In 2019, I made a beanie, a lighter, I was developing a bag, I made sweatpants, a keychain, like accessories, like stuff like that. So the product range really expanded, and now I'm totally thinking about doing that even more in 2020. Of course, I'm still gonna make t-shirts and hoodies and stuff because it's always a staple in streetwear and clothing, and those are always easy and good to sell products, because people, look, there's billions of people on the earth and clothing gets worn out. Like I wear my clothes until they wear out, and people do that too. So having like hoodies and t-shirts, that's a no-brainer. People are always going to buy those, right? If your design's awesome, the quality's there, people are going to buy it. So keep doing that. So in conclusion, 2019 was a fantastic year. I tripled the business. I got a mentor and learned a ton from him. I began to develop a lot of knowledge through reading books or listening to books. I'll make a video about why you should really hop on that. I changed a lot as a person, and my mindset really changed, and your mindset and your health really impact your business. I'm gonna always say that whether you like it or not. It's really important to get on that. and I also got the card, which really helps, and really expanded the product range. So I think that 2019 was really the last year of me starting the brand. I really think that moving forward, it's just going to be, obviously it's going to be growth, right? It's going to keep growing, but I feel more firmly established now and more positive in the way things are going. Like I know that the brand will keep growing and keep expanding, and like I'm excited for that, and like the community, I'm excited to keep growing that, and that's really important to me. So I'm really optimistic about that, and I hope that you guys got a lot of value out of this video series. I hope that no matter what age you are, it's stuff that will really, like, advice that will really help you and really change your mindset about stuff. Really focusing on process improvement and the way you think will help grow your brand, yourself, and your business. And if you don't do clothing or whatever, it doesn't matter, because all that stuff, you can apply it to any business. And even if you don't have a business and you watch these for fun, learning process improvement, what that really does is it makes your life frictionless, and it just gives you more free time to have fun. If you want to go spend time with your friends, you want to go spend time with your family, you want to play video games, literally whatever you want to do, if you get good at process improvement and you learn lean and that concept, you're just gonna have more time to do what you want to do, right? And that's what you really want in life. You want to squeeze out everything. Like, you don't want to go to bed and not be fulfilled, like, wow, I didn't help anyone today, I didn't create anything, I didn't do anything with my life, right? And that sucks. But if you really learn about improving yourself like that, your life's just going to get much better and easier, right? It's going to be more enjoyable. So anyways, that's kind of the conclusion of this video series. I will still be making a video every year about what I learned in the business and growing and stuff, but it's not going to be really about how I started, right? Obviously, because I'm past that point. And I hope you got a lot of value out of this video. Subscribe to the channel, like this video, and leave me some comments below. I really want to know what you guys think about it. If you guys ever disagree with me, comment below, and if you have questions, comment below as well, because I will answer them, and I'm really curious to see what you guys think. I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.